So when we admit someone onto hospice services, 90% of our job is teaching, really. We do a ton of teaching. And so the things that we have to help the family and the patient with are learning about hospice, what we offer. There's just a lot of components to hospice, and we have to teach that family and the patient that. Then we're going to teach them about their disease process, what their terminal illness is, what to expect, right? Kind of like that, remember the encyclopedia, what to expect when you're expecting? It's like that, but for hospice, and we're doing that every time we're there. So those two things, and then we're going to be teaching them about the dying process and what that is, symptom management. And then we're also going to teach the family what to expect in death, what that looks like, when to call us. We're teaching them how to perform ADLs, how to, feed mom or dad, how to transfer them, how to change their brief while they're laying in a bed. Any of you who have been CNAs before, or you work as a CNA, you know how hard that is. It's a skill. And so we teach them those things, and then we're also supporting them. So that's a lot of things for a family and a patient to hear, grasp, understand, absorb, all while grieving an anticipatory loss, and then seeing things some of them have never seen before. I know that, when I was the first healthcare person in my family, in my immediate family, it's a lot to process, especially if you're not used to it. Now imagine that stuff, right? And that grief that I talked about. Imagine that as a family. Let's say it's your mother that's on hospice. Imagine if you had 6 months to learn all of that information in little bits, right? You would process your grief because you're not busy learning. I mean, you're learning, but it's in little pieces, smaller bites, right? And then I want you to imagine if you only had, 1 to 2 weeks on hospice, how hard it is to digest all of that information while feeling your feels. That's what we say in my house, feeling your feels. It's a lot harder. And it's a lot harder in that bereavement support time because the families don't have a bond with us. So when we have 6 months, that's like ideal, right? If we have 6 months with this family, with this patient, we're building bonds with them, we're building trust with them, we're building rapport. And in that time, those conversations that we have are very meaningful. We're able to learn about their life, they're able to reflect, and they're even able to get some closure on their life. I know I speak about that a lot, but it really is our goal for them to be as high functioning as they can for as long as they can. We're not putting them out to pasture. There's no euthanasia in hospice. That's not what we do. We want to just keep their life as good as we can for as long as we can. And those meaningful conversations that we have are very impactful on them and their families. The families are grieving better because they already know us by then. If we have the longer time we have with them, the more they know what hospice really is about. And it changes their bereavement time, and it changes how they grieve. And many times it changes the event of death from something scary and traumatic into something meaningful, and it's unifying. Those are lasting memories that they have, and we would love to make them something positive, something beautiful instead of scary and traumatic. We love what we do, and we'd love to support your families.